It's a very powerful message to especially YouTube and basically every platform of social media platform going in the world. So I want to make something clear to you, very clear to you, right? In 1999, the leading biologist in the world is Jeremy Griffiths, right? With 16,000 top scholars and Nobel Prize winners in the world. Every top scientist, every top Nobel Prize winner on the same page with Jeremy Griffiths in the IPP scientist reports. In 99, you declared worldwide on the 27th of September that you're crazy and your parents are crazy and your world's crazy. Crazy means you're crazy. In 2003, you declared a species in denial. In denial. Today, 98.7% of the whole human population, voltage reliability in their body cells, DNA, the book of life, is on anti-clockwise. You no longer have mental telepathy, ESP, remote viewing, telekinesis, levitation, spoon mini clockwise, okay? Remote viewing, deja vu to predict the future. You're not clockwise in your DNA. You have 32 senses. You're living in 5 sense mentality with IQ and artificial intelligence with instrumentation, right? That's the way you're designed with your grammar and programming. Your mind's a mathematical beauty to work things out with. Your IQ is based on 9% memory. So right here, your mind plays tricks and games in you and you become your worst enemy. Proven with DNA studies done. 45,000 teachers and 16,000 top scholars have admitted that we live in opinions with voice of mind ultimately signed for extinction. So we go to school to be mentally institutionalized when a child's a genius and creates two-minded mentality and has 116 nucleoside monikers genetic repair kit with a perfect aura. He can mastermind a computer game between 3 and 7. He's magnificent and he can master the mind by thinking outside the mind. He can master the brain. You see this in the movie Limitless, right? He takes manners from a play called Mayhem, methamphetamine, in fact, made laboratory grade, makes you alert, alike, and aware. And it's your sacred secretion you can't create. It dies by the time you're 12. Because when you become mentally institutionalized, your body cells can corrupt collusion the minute you go to school and the screens in a 5 sense world, in 5 sense mentality. Then you get programmed to believe what you believe in, to be competitive, and you go to exams to be a competitive person. Then you lost all your biofields and your 27 senses, right? Dimensional thinking, remote viewing, telekinesis, levitation, spoon mini clockwise, folding space and time with deja vu, to be magnificent. A child is an outside influence you can see in the movie Limitless, with a vortex of information, with a universal language. He used the third eye, right, to see the vision that tells him 1,000 words that cannot lie to him. You see that in the movie Limitless, sevenfold wisdom of knowledge. If you look at YouTube and look at superhuman kids, third eye children, right, third eye abilities with their third eye, search in third eye and superhuman kids and you'll see it. You see they can read, draw and write blindfolded, okay? They have remote viewing and deja vu by the time they're 12. They can predict the next car around the corner, what color it is, okay, what color it is, so they can prevent an accident from happening or getting run over by a car. Think about that for a moment. If you don't teach your kids correctly, imagine how much of a side effect this has in your life when you can't think clockwise and you think anti-clockwise in mentality, right, with high IQ, with grammar that you depend on so much, and you don't have the mathematical mindset to master the mind and use 100% of your brain to do things like this. So a child at 12 years old can not only do this, but when your phone rings, he can predict who's ringing on the other end with deja vu in such a way, right, that he's got remote viewing and can see who it is and what they're wearing on the other end. And it could be around the world, like George Clooney that was staring at gates with psycho programs that the militaries use. No, in fact, with CIA documents, disclosure. So when you have your supernatural power, you think about this. Your 24th chromosome's in dormant. You can see it in studies of research if you think I'm a liar. They tell you it's superhuman abilities, but you can't live with it. So they lie to you. How else would they know? It's in your cells. You can go and look at this up. Now, when you talk about vaccination and mRNA technology, I told you, vaccination is mRNA technology with graphene oxide electronic medical device in methamphetamine, ADHD medication, and it's a fact. Go Google it and do some studies. Graphene oxides are drug delivery system, right, in food preservatives and drug delivery systems, right, in methamphetamine, ADHD medication, the same particle, right, on the same patent, electronic magnetic device with an outside influence on your reality. Now, it's a known fact, the first thing you have to do is the boogeyman, the monster bed, like a UAP, an unexplained era phenomenon, but a child's totally innocent and its biology is perfect and can feel things that a parent cannot feel. A parent comes into the room and says, it's just a dream, go back to sleep, because they go to school to be mentally institutionalized by the voice of mind. So this parasite, this boogeyman that scares the shit out of you, where your imagination runs wild, you go to school to be mentally institutionalized, and those voices becomes a trio noise that controls you. And then by the time you're 24, I can manipulate your neuron 6 seconds flat, and a child knows a warning because it can feel the truth. Bruce Lee can mastermind by 24 and by 12 be back karate blindfolded and block every punch blindfolded with their third eye, where it goes down time by time, sets it with deja vu to predict the future and prevent what's going to happen and respond 7 times faster than you think. Critically, in your conscious mind, which is a mental event, a mental process, and illusion imagination, set up by the Rockefellers into the condensing layer by WEF. That's why it's starting to shine like this with programming and engineering with what they want you to believe in. So your mind becomes a mathematical computer, and that's all it is. It's 5 sense and negative fields. Your 6th sense is 27 biofields and the most positive fields, right? You can do amazing things they don't want you to know about. You can see in the movie Limits, he writes a book overnight, and it's brilliant, right? Overnight. Brilliant. Boomba. Right? Brilliant. And they love the book. They want him to write another one, right? He goes down to Wall Street and make millions of dollars. Like that. He's got deja vu, can see the future, and goes down there and impresses all the elite as well. When you can use 100% of your brain, you'll be amazed what you can do. But when you live in psycho programs, artificial intelligence, and you're designed like this with atheism, and people are with their IQ, they do not know what they do because they can only 7 to 10% of their brain in over 98% of the population. Okay, and the top scholars in the whole world, the biggest genius with IQ, can only use 15% brain. But guess what? They haven't got remote viewing. They haven't got deja vu to predict the future and prevent what's going to happen. Now they're artificial intelligence in their mind, and their mind's what causes every mental health research and everything they die from. It's a proven fact that every single thing you die from and every single thing you suffer from and die prematurely, right? You don't die from natural causes or natural age because your body cells go corruption, illusion with voltage reliability. REL, R-E-L-L. They call it Baal in the Bible. REL, right? Voltage reliability in your aura, in your body cells. That only repairs 3.5 hours a night. But when you're a child, you're a genius. Repairing 24 hours a day with 130 nucleoside molecules with genetic memory and genetic repair kit. Then you go to school to lose that memory and you get programmed into the mind with artificial intelligence, and then you lose your genetic process and genetic memory. Proven with DNA. The last human being born on Earth, right, that could use the genetic process born 1960, go and Google it. So your body cells go corruption, collusion. When they try to make the vaccination, body cells work together, B and C cells, because they're in corruption, collusion, every mental disorder, and everything we die from, correct? Every single thing we suffer from, everything we die from. And then I have 13 platforms taken down on YouTube and told I'm a deceiver when in fact your whole world is. Right now, 98.7% take drugs with gene defects and mental disorders and suicide rates with the biggest drug pandemic. And what? The biggest paranoia pandemic ever in history. That's sending animals around circles, birds falling out of the sky, volcanoes splitting, and using our biological fields. And we lost 50 to 90%, 95%, right, of our immune system. Some 100%. That's IFIBD bacteria because our body cells got no idea what they're doing. And in every mental health research, it's proven every single thing with mental health research and every design for Parama and the system is anti-clockwise. That's why the whole world's anti-clockwise. In 98.7%, Robert Kennedy just exposed the truth, right? And what was that? That 77% of Americans are born with a parasite. On Google, it's warned all over the world that over 9 out of 10 people's got parasites. And they can't find on studies done, but there's 9 parasites, there's 9 cancers, 9 inflammations, and it's every single thing to do with your body cells when you're anti-clockwise in your mind. Because it's a proven fact with biologists. DNA Book of Life by Jeremy McGivers, the book Freedom, held by 16,500 top scholars in the world to be the holy grail of life. We can do what Christ can and more in our DNA with natural selection and natural order. So why should the government and every system signing up with WF to take out the natural selection life with intelligent design, calling alien design, as Harari says, the architect for the 4th Industrial Revolution? And he says it's an alien. And so what does the UAP disclosure tell you, Pentagon? In March last year, we have an outside influence that controls our reality. So it's a crazy possession AI, right? And they admit that at Pentagon, right? Okay? And so it's the top scholars. And we have a hostile entity in the mind because we listen to the wrong voice mind. A serpent in the mind. A hostile entity as set by Echo Collier. As Dr. Bruce Lipton says in Sally Study Research. As Joe Dispenza says, right? With the book, right? Of what? The placebo effect anti-clockwise. And Jeremy gives the top bowlers in the whole world. #1 for the IPP science reports. And then you lie about climates because it's not what you think. because you're the ones declared the species of nine program and engineer the most into your mind with an IQ. And that's why you are the ones that got no moral guilt and shame and lie to everyone in the mentality you live in, because you can only use 15% of your brain. I'm the biggest mastermind in the world, recorded by the biggest document in the world, with the most powerful bullshit probability. That doesn't lie. I have the most authentic DNA in the world, and prove it in DNA studies done with DNA, right? Research, mental health research, and in hospital records, with the most powerful miracles on earth, bringing someone back to life as well, giving 0% chance living. In 1992, Ipswich Hospital, Kirsty Nash writes the most powerful poem in 2003, the one and only, in the biggest study ever done with DNA, and the top bowlers, Jeremy Griffiths, in Australia, that found the largest human being born on earth that can do what Christ can and more. And I am the truth. Because it's my study with 34 years of study by the biggest think tank and gatekeeper board and the mastermind board in Australia. So you're a liar. When you suppress me, you're a filthy, disgusting animal. Because you're possessed by AI. You are the possessed nefarious by the boogeyman. Under your skin, called the moral golems. We found him in 1980, didn't we? The moral golems, isn't that the same thing in the Bible, right? Leprosy, an invisible enemy, an invisible parasite, a delusional parasitosis, because that's what it's called and declared in 2003 when they declared the species and all at the same time. And I am on the most powerful poem worldwide for 8 months, the most powerful poem ever written, the one and only that can get rid of the parasites, that can bring you back to life, written by a person who was sent back from heaven to earth 3 times. Right, with CCTV and seven most powerful peer reports you've ever seen in your life. Most powerful confirmation on earth. So when I am, and I know who I am, with my body, my DNA, I use 100% of my brain with all my natural, supernatural abilities in our own chromosome with genetic memory and a genetic database they can find on data today. So they know how to find the data in their DNA with all that data and answers to tools in genetic memory, right? And when I've got the most powerful genetic memory in the world and the most powerful tools to do what Christ can in that bloodline, in that family tree that Plato describes in 15 books, and that Einstein and Hawkins said they were trying to work out natural selection. They knew it existed, but they didn't know how. And they've been studying this for 2,350 years, and I'm in the biggest study ever done because it's my DNA. That is the book of life. So Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, you're all liars out there, and you're all possessed by AI. You're all robots and zombies and got no guilt factor. No moral, no instincts, no nothing. You can sit there and justify what you want, but every person sitting on the screen and brought up with IQ behavior, sitting on a computer and a phone all day, is the most back-to-front reverse psychology engineering you'll ever see in your ministry. Their third eye is a picture that tells 1,000 voices of dimensional thinking. That doesn't even work. It's broken. It's in their DNA. 32 senses. Use some basic common sense and try to do some research, because you can't. You're brain dead. Okay? Your whole system's brain dead. Your artificial intelligence, brain dead. Okay? You're all liars, deceivers, and you push propaganda with the wrong tools when you declare speech and not by Jeremy Griffiths, the top bowlers with 16,000 top scholars in the world, and then you lie about them and call me a liar when you are. You're a thief, and you're a creative thief, and you don't care about nothing except for money and materialistic things, right, to control the human population, and that's so obvious when you're the liar and accused up what you're guilty of.